You can never rest easy here, can you, Dad? Not until we know. Find the people that put you here. If only you could remember something, anything. We talked about hypnotherapy before.
I drive trains. I'm underground for 7 hours a day, praying that nobody's going to jump. I don't want no hypnotist making it worse.
But if it's sensitive
I said no. I'm going back to the gate. Make sure it's the right plot. You're going to be okay by yourself?
If the dead could hurt you, they wouldn't be dead, would they?
These places give me the creeps. They say if you weigh a person just before they pass, and just after, they weigh 21 grams less. That's the way the soul departs in the body.
What's that got to do with anything? Is it Dad?
Definitely. She looked at me funny like, if you came more often, you'd know.
I said I was never coming back at all. I'll never think of them as dead. Not till we get justice.
Listen, tomorrow's about putting the past to rest.
No witnesses, no suspects, no arrests.
There was an
no
investigation,
nothing.
sis.
You should have used the legal firm I found.
Sophie's guy did the best. He came recommended.
But Sophie.
Let's try and be civil. Why you never did have more children, Dad? This one's been difficult. Now I got to put up with her without you. You should have never called her princess when she was little. Went straight to her head. Best scarred. Should we say a prayer or something?
Last time we were in church was at the funeral.
Still, as a mark of respect. And there's nothing saying you can't start there with Mum. Put by yourself a big hat, take communion. Might get the devil out of your system.
Would you get the devil out of yours? Or would you still be hanging on to her every word?
Sophie, again.
Dad was cut down. In broad daylight. 1 o'clock in a big afternoon on a public street on a big weekday and nobody ain't seen a thing.
People only see what they want to see.
What did you see? Why didn't you say more?
I can't say what I didn't see.
Ah, and there speaks Sophie. Exactly what she told you to tell the solicitor.
What do you mean told me? I'm a grown-ass man. Let's sing something. When the saints come marching in. Dad like that, didn't you, Dad? Oh, when the saints come marching in. Oh, when the saints come marching in. I wanna be. We're doing the best we can for that, sis. Here and now. Getting all this cleared up for the anniversary.
Beef sandwiches, Saturday saltfish cakes, chicken and a bowl of sauce ain't gonna bring him back.
You got to light in the mood, man. How's work? Mum said you got more time.
I needed more time to work on getting the bundles together, as much evidence as I can.
Mum said you're not sleeping. I can see your face full of bags. And you got circles around your eyes bigger than Kung Fu Panda. Let Dad have his peace. Stop pushing before you push everyone away.
Let them move on, boy. You that couldn't even lift the shovel to put your piece of earth on Dad to show respect. You with your hands shaking couldn't even hold the shovel, leaving that wife of yours to apologise about how badly you've taken it. Come the revolution, where you going to be? Hiding behind your white skirt?
I'm going to find some water. Try soften this ground. Sophie has nothing but respect for you. I wish you showed her the same courtesy.
The police were looking to arrest you, weren't they? Took your fingerprints, was all looking for DNA on your shoes.
Well, I'll tell you about DNA. DNA stands for they don't know anything. So they make it up.
went in there for help. You went in there bleeding, needing help, screaming for help. And what did they say? Who have you stabbed then? That's exactly what they said. And you were screaming for them to come outside, to stem the blood, use something to stop up the hole, a hole so big you could put your hand in it. And they said you were being aggressive, pinned you down, handcuffed you, stepped in my father's blood, slid in it, and accused you of pushing them. And my father was out there on the street. He was out there on the street, outside the police station, and he was bleeding to death, dying, and you just want to move it and forget it and move on.
They did all they could do. When they finally believed me, but
About what?
I done said everything I want to say.
Say it. Say it!
I did what I could. We were going to march all the way through to Paddington to Westminster. That's what you said. Stage a protest outside the police station. You said. Refuse to move until we got justice. You said. Only you didn't actually get round to organising a march, did you?
Marching don't do shit, but we're down issues.
So what should we have done? Burn down the police station. Kill every last white man and woman in sight. Without Sophie, we wouldn't have got compensation from victim support.
This ain't 12 years a slave, you know, Philip. She ain't Brad Pitt come to save all us poor ignorant Negroes.
While you was out there, URMA, sparking revolution and exposing our business to strangers, she was handling practical business at
Chat
home.
with your brain, Philip, not with your cock.
You're too mean and vicious. That's why you ain't got no money. And you're going to be stuck in that pokey flat of yours, eating baked for breakfast, lunch and dinner, with only your cats to keep you company. Because Mum fed up with you and all. You ain't Lady Doreen. You ain't got the stamina. You ain't stuck to nothing in your whole life. You dropped out of accountancy after 8 months. Dropped out of banking after 6. Could only make it in 2 months in insurance sales. That's why you're hanging on to this. But you need to drop it before the process starts focusing on you and our family.
Don't worry, I'm sure nobody's going to touch your white wife and your fuzzy-headed light brown acceptable children.
Dad was partial to white women, you know. Even if it was only for 4 months at a time. Then he'd come back to Mum's steamed fish and cocoa. There's only 2 kind of people in this world. One that will let you on a bus when you got insufficient funds, and one that will drive off and let you stand in the pouring rain.
It should be here now. Getting ready for carnival. Cooking up the little chicken, buttering up the hard-dough bread for when people drop round en route. Raising the flag for BIM, searching for all the whistles you hid in the cupboard the year before for safekeeping and cuffing us when you couldn't find them. Putting on his suit and tie. The kerchief and the watch chain. Looking nice and decent. Like when they first come to this wicked land.
Remember how we used to go up South Bank to see the skateboarders? Dad came once, all in his good clothes. He said, never again.
Never a day out his suit. To be lying face down in his own blood. I'm gonna light the candle for Dad at the Bajan Memorial Service. We used to go together. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.
You cry it out, sis. Every time I turn to the TV, there's a white person crying. Every single night, them are barred.
If there was just something to go on,
Quiet up. That was outside the police station. That's where he ended up.
From where?
We were coming round Bermondsey side. Dad, me, and Sophie.
You said it was just you and Dad.
There was this idiot mouthing off right in the middle of the street. Black this, you black that. Sophie went for him. Dad wanted it to stop. But she went on. She even told Dad to shut up. Then he came up to Dad, messing with his watch chain. Then 5 of them came from nowhere, with bottles, and dragged Dad from behind me. 2 of them was holding on to me. 1 of them put a plastic bag over my head, and I could hear them smashing bottles. He was in shreds, sis, from his head to his foot. His face, you would never want to witness that. You couldn't eat, sleep, nothing. I see all the time down the tunnels, in the nothingness. And I think of his blood, the 21 grams. That's maybe what all the blood weighed. His soul. I was carrying around in my hands, come back to haunt me on the underground.
Sophie was there. She must remember more.
The police aren't interested. When I went with the watch chain Dad was wearing, they said my prints would be all over it. I took it back to the station 3 weeks after. They said it was useless. Another inadmissible.
We lost the watch chain.
It's not lost. I slipped into Dad's pocket there at the funeral. When they opened the coffin, it didn't look like Dad anymore. Did it, Dad? It wasn't you. The only thing that looked like you was the watch chain, so I put it in.
Philip, we can get the watch chain back. It will still have evidence on it.
We're powerless, sis. There's nothing we can do.
I ain't powerless. I'm from a people that did raise nations and civilizations. Created the light bulb, the traffic light, the space toilet, the ironing board, and the damn lemon squeezer. The first race to sew up a person's heart. We need to get Dad back. Dig him up. You're right. The dead can hurt you. And I'm gonna make damn sure it hurts them racists who took away our father. Right here in Kensal Green Cemetery, Marcus Garvey was buried. It's the last resting place of Mary Seacole and Kenzo Cochrane, murdered by racists and nobody charged. 450 years of injustice, and we're still fighting. Still here, still alive. No wonder when white people does see us, they does look so frightened. It must be like seeing a ghost.
Why you got to be talking about ghosts in a place like this?
After the anniversary service, I'm ringing another solicitor. I'm not giving up.
You go, sis. I'm sorry. You're not a failure. Ball out your chest. Yes.
Come on.
What about the plot? You know how some of them Bajans can be malicious.
Leave the plot as it is. People can tell us if they're violent.